Hey guys, what's up? This is Chris, this RC Madness, and this is another build video on my Slash 4x4 street setup. Today I am going to be doing the motor that came, and I'm just going to show you my entire electronic selection that I went for this car. I bought two different ESCs. I bought the Mama Monster X and the Mama Monster. I don't have a motor that needs to be censored right now, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Mamba X ESC in this car, and I'm just going to run it in this with the Mamba 2650 kV motor. I'm not sure if this is going to be good, but I found this on sale for $35, so I thought for that it's a no-brainer. I'm actually going to order a few now that I know it came and it's good. I found it on eBay, so as soon as I test it and see that it's good, I'm going to order a bunch more of these. But I'm going to try this. I'm going to watch my temps. I'm not sure about the 2650. It'll definitely give me the speed I want, but I'm just not sure. I'm going to have to watch my temps and whatnot. But I'm going to go ahead with this for now. If it doesn't work out, I can put it in a different car and run a 2200 kV. So that's the motor. Let me go ahead and open that up and show you. And as I said, I bought this for $35 on eBay, which was an awesome deal for this motor, and I was actually told by a friend of mine that he didn't think it would come because it was such a good deal. But it came, and it seems like it's good to go. It doesn't seem like there's anything with it. It definitely hasn't been used because you could tell by the screw holes. So I mean, it looks fine to me. I mean, I guess I'll find out once I get it all set up. But there's the motor. I'm going to run the Mamba X ESC, and that's that. So let me show you how I'm going to put this in. As you can see, I'm still working on my CVDs. I got the rear ones in, all mounted up, but the front, I still got to get a few more parts, including bearings and whatnot. So that will be next. So basically, we're going to want to take this motor, and I'm going to put it on my center motor mount, because I'm going to want to put a 34-tooth pinion on here with a 34-tooth spur. That's the other reason I'm hesitant on this. I'm not sure how that's going to work. It might be a little much for this motor, but we'll find out as time goes on. So you're going to want to see what kind of screw you want. Like that one there is way too long. Let me look around here and find the screws real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got the first screw that'll work, and you're going to want to go ahead and put a little bit of Loctite on there. Don't put too much because it's not ideal, but just get a little bit on there. I got a little bit on the end there, as you can see. You don't need to drench the screw, but go ahead and get it lined up, and I'm going to line it up to where the sticker is facing up in the car, just for a little bit better look to it. But once you get it started, you can go ahead and tighten it up. Alright, so that one's tightened up. You don't need to tighten it too much. And I am going to have to change this around once I get my pinion, but just want to show you how this is fitting in here as it is. So go ahead and let me see if I can give you, there you go, you can see it from that angle. Get your next screw, put a little bit of Loctite on that as well. Let me do that. And this is going to actually be the screw that you're able to move around to adjust the pinion to get it to where it needs to be. So there we go. I'm getting that started. Screw that one in. There we go. So that's actually good enough. And you know what? While I'm on camera, I'm just going to go ahead and take the pinion out of my rustler. I can order a new one. Let me put that in there real quick. Hold on one second. Let me take that out of my rustler. Well, I got the pinion out, and I realized that I'm going to have to take this motor back off because where this sits, it will not let me put it on there like that. It's too far up to slide under there, as you can see. So let me take the motor back off and redo this, but you're going to put it back on the same way. Let me just put this on and get it to where it's closed. So I took the motor off, and as you can see, I now have the pinion on there, but it was a little more complicated than how I thought it would be. I actually had to work for maybe another 30 minutes to an hour getting this to mount because this screw down here, as you can see, that silver screw, that was in a hole above that. Let me see if I can zoom in there. You can see where there's a small hole right above that one right there on the top. Well, that was keeping the motor from sliding all the way down to let the gear be able to touch the mesh and be able to get good gear mesh. So I had to take this whole back mount off, take this whole diff off, take that all back apart, re-drill this, re-tap the hole so I could get that screw in there now. So now it's good to go. So this is set up now. It's perfect. I just had to do a lot more work than I thought. And it was a problem because I ended up having Loctite in some of these, so it was much harder than I thought. But I've got it now. And as you can see, it's really nice looking. I'm going to see if I can come up with some kind of guard or something to go over that, or at least to keep those wires from pushing back in there. I know these wires won't be going up there, but I'd like to, I don't know, I just like to make it more cleaned up so you can't see in there. So I might modify modify the normal gear cover to fit this, maybe just cut it out and around. So maybe this gear would sit out, but at least it will plug up these holes. I don't know. I'm going to figure that out later. But while I was off camera, I got all that done. I got the motor mounted. As you can see, it has really nice gear mesh. It's perfect. It's got all the outdrive spinning. It's good to go. I might still have to adjust that a little bit. But as you can see, there's also a zip tie under there. Because while I was off camera, I got the ESC mounted in. I mounted it a little bit, excuse me for that, but I mounted it a little bit forwards so it would be more even with this servo and the receiver box that will be going right here. So I actually did this. I picked it up, I put it on a scale, I put it on like my homemade balancer, and I figured out that this is where this ESC needs to go. It's not in the way of anything, but I put that there, and so that zip tie is basically holding those wires over. They'll eventually form to that if they're held there long enough, I believe. I'm not sure. That's sort of a little experiment, but I want those wires to stay there. So if that zip tie holds them there for long enough, I bet they will form. If not, then I'll figure out something else. But that's the next part of the Slash 4x4 build. That is the electronics that I'm getting in there, which is the Mamba X and the JR servo and the 2650 kV motor, and lastly the DX4C radio. I just bought that brand new. It was a very interesting radio. It was decent price for what it is. It's about $100 with a receiver. I wasn't sure. I really like Spectrum. I've had a bunch of them before, but I wasn't sure. But I did a lot of researching and found that this is what I wanted. So that is the last part of, or the next part of the Slash 4x4 build, the electronic selection and whatnot. I'm going to be getting the rest of the stuff to finish up there. I've got my tires coming. I'll show you guys what those are, but this thing is very close to being able to be ready to run. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, and comment below.